This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 25th day of February in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here is what we're tracking tonight. Officials of the People's Progressive Party Civic met with the chairman, chief elections officer, and the full Guyana Elections Commission this afternoon and formally made a request for the commission to relook at the number of polling places allocated to some communities and increase the number. At issues of recent decision by the commission to reduce the number of polling places at private residences for the elections. PPP General Secretary Bara Jagdeo today stated that most of the reductions appear to have taken place in areas that are strongholds for his party. He said during the meeting today with the Chief Elections Officer and the Commission, he asked questions related to that.
The CEO claimed that he had instructions from the commissioners to reduce as many private polling places as possible. So we asked, how is it that you only reduce those in PPP strongholds? So we pointed out that a place like Golden Grove on the East Bank, Samantha Point, Caneville, etc., with 2,000 voters, has 6 private polling places in private residences. 6. In an area with Monrepo, with 3 times the number of voters, over 7,000 voters, that only has 2.
Jagdeo said even if those polling places are not at private residences, the number should still be increased in the communities.
So we said you have to increase the number of polling places back again by 4 to 6 in these areas. 4 to 6 new polling places, because 6 polling places to cater for 7,000 people versus 6 in Samantha Point, Golden Grove for 2,000 people. We said we're not telling you where to choose. You can choose on your own where these have to go, but there has to be more polling places in Monrepo to end the congestion that would inevitably happen if 7,000 people are voting at one place.
And the General Secretary of the PPP also stated that he has been meeting with the observer groups that are in Guyana for the elections, and he has been raising his party concerns with them.
What we've asked for is nothing unfair. We don't ask for replacement in APNU strongholds of any polling places. We believe people have a right to vote in comfort. All we've asked for 12 or 14 polling places, new adjustments. 12 would be satisfactory to us in 4 different communities to allow this issue to go away and we don't have to take it to another level.
The Elections Commission has promised to look at the party's concerns today and make a decision by tonight. Mr. Jagdeo said if no favorable decision is forthcoming from the Elections Commission, his party will find a way to protest the commission to have its concerns addressed. More news coming up in a moment.
Monday, March the 2nd is an important day for the people of Guyana. It is Election Day, the day on which we will choose who will represent us in our national parliament and regional democratic councils. My husband, David Granger, respects women. He has worked towards improving our lives throughout every region of Guyana, hinterland and coastland, urban and rural. Because of the APNU plus AFC, mothers can put more money to other expenses because more children are staying in school through the David G. 5Bs initiative, which provides boats, buses, bicycles, books and breakfast to school children free of cost. Because of the APNU plus AFC, women are becoming financially independent through training in entrepreneurial skills and access to loans and grants for small businesses. And this is why women of Guyana will make the right choice, the only choice. On March 2nd, we're voting for the palm and the key, APNU plus AFC.
Attention all GCOM first-time registrants. The Guyana Elections Commission is advising all persons who were registered for the first time during house-to-house registration and the claims and objections exercises in 2019 and would be voting at the upcoming elections that they can uplift their national identification cards from the registration office in their respective areas between the hours of 8 hours to 19 hours daily. This notice is not for persons who already have an ID card, those who were previously issued with an ID card, or those who are without their ID card for various reasons.
Monday, March 2nd is Election Day.
I had to ensure I come and look for you, girl. This is serious business.
Yes, we're moving forward together.
Make a plan together, so whether at home, in your social circles, or amongst your colleagues, continue to encourage each other. When you get to exercise your right, it's our duty to encourage each other to go out and vote.
Yo, one with me. I want to get left out. Hey, I'm in.
On Elections Day, we inking up.
Up. Hey, make sure you are going to vote, yeah? Good.
On March 2nd, I'm voting for APNU AFC to continue the progress for me and my children's future. You should too.
On March 2nd, vote APNU AFC. And let's continue moving forward together.
I'm David Granger, and I approve this message.
That was a paid political ad.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Tired of long lines? Register with MyGTT at mygtt.co.gy. That's mygtt.co.gy to view and pay your bills from anywhere. Enter to win an Amazon gift card worth $25 or a bounty voucher worth 5,000 Guyana dollars when you sign up today. GTT, do more.
Welcome back. On Monday, the Private Sector Commission joined the People's Progressive Party in expressing concern over the decision by the Elections Commission to reduce the number of private residences to be used as polling stations on Elections Day. In a statement parroting concerns expressed by the PPP, the PSC said it wants GCOM to reverse its decision. The private sector body, which is an observer for the elections, said it is worried about the possibility that a significant number of voters could be disenfranchised by the changes made by the Guyana Elections Commission to a substantial number of polling places in a wide number of rural locations. The PSC said while GCOM is bound in law to observe the statutory process requiring the Chief Elections Officer to act within the authority of the Commission, he appears to have acted unilaterally and on his own by changing the location of polling places between January and February and without informing the contesting parties. The Guyana Elections Commission has repeatedly said that all it has done is reduce the number of private residences to be used. The Commission has pointed out that in the same communities, public buildings will be used instead of private residences. GCOM Chairman Justice Claudette Singh has stated that public buildings are always preferred, and there have been recommendations by many, including the Carter Center, for the use of private residences to be reduced. The Private Sector Commission in its statement said it would like the Carter Center to publicly clear the air on the issue. On page 77 of the final report on the 2015 elections by the Carter Center, the group stated that while the establishment of polling stations on private property did not seem to negatively influence public confidence in the electoral process, GCOM should ensure that citizens can cast their ballot in a neutral environment. The Commonwealth Observer Mission has arrived in Guyana ahead of next Monday's elections, and the group has indicated that it will observe and evaluate the electoral process independently and impartially. This will be the 7th consecutive elections in Guyana to be observed by the Commonwealth. The 11-member group is being headed by former Barbadian Prime Minister Owen Arthur. In a statement last evening, the Commonwealth group said it will assess the pre-election environment, polling day activities, and the post-elections period. Additionally, it will also consider the various factors impinging on the credibility of the elections as a whole. Upon the completion of its work, the Commonwealth team will put together a report on whether the elections were conducted in line with local laws, as well as the regional and international commitments of Guyana. The members of the group arrived in Guyana on Sunday and are already going through various briefing sessions. The members intend to meet with the political parties and other stakeholders, including other international observers. The group will release an interim statement on the elections on the 4th of March, 2 days after the elections will have taken place. On the industrial front, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union today launched another round of protest against the government, calling for its intervention to get an increase in pay for sugar workers. Union officials explained today that they had a number of meetings with Guyana over the past few months, discussing better wages and increases for workers. The last meeting on Friday did not garner the results the union was expecting, and that has resulted in a total shutdown of the operations at Albion, Blairmont, and the Iflat estates today. The union's position is that any increase must be retroactive to January 1 of last year, since the negotiations were for that period. Guyana has since granted the increase as of January 2020, and that has the union and the workers outraged. Union General Secretary C. Paul Narayan.
It is unacceptable. You know, everybody else got increases higher than 5%. All government employees. We're not jealous of them. We deserve more, but at least let us find an answer and come to an agreement. We have stretched out our hands. We said we are prepared to have that agreement. But you can't want to shortchange us with the number and then to bully us by saying, no, it's January 2020.
While the union has made it clear that the issue is between the company and the union, it also noted that the government has not been involved in the process as it is not in its right to do so. But the protest action took place in front of the president's office, days before elections. GAWU General Secretary said he's expecting that the president will address the issue.
I'm expecting that the president and his colleagues will address the issue and will provide Guyana with the necessary approval to have the retroactive pay from January of 2019. It is legitimately due from 2019 January.
Some of the protesters expressed their frustration with the situation.
We protesting really for get the raise increase from the sugar workers. Them need it. They really need it. Where's people punishing because the government closed the estate? Send them to Iflat. They're walking like a dog. When you see they come with 190,000, they can't do nothing now. The bill alone, where you have to pay, and nearly 6,000, sometimes 7,000. What about the water bill? We crying out, raise the money. Raise the money!
The protesting workers are claiming discrimination from the government, and they hope to have an intervention soon. The union officials would not say if the protests will continue for the rest of the week, but they made it clear that their voices must be heard. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has issued a wanted bulletin for this man, businessman Ryan Pemberton, also known as Sanko, of Albertown here in Georgetown. He is wanted in connection with Saturday's bust of over 60 pounds of cocaine in the Purikaback Dam. Kanu said it has been receiving threats from the man since that bust was made. Anyone knowing his whereabouts is being asked to contact Kanu on telephone numbers 226-0431. Meanwhile, the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has also announced the arrest of 2 other men in connection with the same drug bust. Their names have been given as Munashwar Dujraj and Lachman Sankar. The 2 were held with the packets of cocaine in a high-speed boat just after arriving in the Parika Baghdad from the Essequibo coast. It is suspected that the cocaine shipment might have been brought from neighboring Venezuela. It has a street value of almost $1 million. While the Mashramani coordinator has described the hosting of this year's MASH events as successful, and he's pleased with the support he got from citizens. The MASH committee was able to pull off more than 50 events in all 10 administrative regions. Coordinator Andrew Tyndall said it was truly a national celebration, and every community got a taste of Mashramani this year.
One of the other successes of this festival is that we were able to take events across the 10 administrative regions. We went from Port Kaituma in Region 1 to Kokwani in Region 10. We went to Lethem in Region 9. We went to Charity in Region 2. We went to New Amsterdam and Riverton in Region 6. We went to Region 5. So, and that is one of the things that we've been aiming to do with the Mashramani Festival, really allowing Guyanese, regardless of where you live, to have an opportunity to participate in these events, and I think we were able to do that this year.
Mr. Tyndall also told News Source today that there were challenges throughout the celebrations, but the MASH Secretariat was able to overcome those challenges.
Of course, it wasn't without the challenges. To run off a festival of this magnitude, it's the 50th year of our Republic anniversary, and to do this within the election cycle, the election season, that itself posed its own challenges. But we were able to use the festival as a means of creating social cohesion within the society and really kind of easing the tension that we normally see around elections time. So we had activities that were geared to every single section of society. So whatever you were into, there was an activity that was thought out for you as a part of this 50th Golden Republic Jubilee celebrations.
This year's Mashramani celebrations featured music shows at Mashramani Village and several activities that culminated with a road march yesterday. Most of the events were well attended, and Mr. Tyndall said it was a learning process for the organizers.
One of the things that we learned from this process here is partnering with other agencies and other groups. As I mentioned, this year we partnered with Hiss and Jams. We partnered with Dr. Reynolds to do the National Evening of Song and Poetry. We partnered with Gems Theatre and Dream Team Productions to do the jazz. And so we found that with partnering with persons who specialize with specific events and organizing specific events, it made the load a little lighter for us.
Several of the activities that were hosted this year are expected to return next year for Mashramani. Across the region is coming up next.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
As our country transforms into a digital state, we must equip our children with the skills for this new frontier.
There is a greater technological advancement available for everyone.
That was a paid political ad.
Voting by proxy. Any voter who is unable to personally vote on election day can apply to vote by proxy, providing that he or she would be on duty because he or she is a member of the disciplined services, connected with the election as assigned by the returning officer, engaged in the running of a vessel for the Transport and Harbors Department on elections day, a duly appointed candidate at the election, and would be away from where he or she is registered to vote on election day. Voters who are blind or otherwise physically incapacitated incapacitated can also vote by proxy. Application to vote by proxy can be uplifted from the returning officer for the electoral district in which the application is being made from the 14th to the 21st of February 2020. Applications must be submitted to the returning officer no later than the 21st of February 2020. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027729 or 223-9653. Visit the GCOM website at gcom.org.gy. Email pro@gcom.org.gy or visit the nearest GCOM office.
Things really moving fast in Guyana, and we all got to keep up. In 2015, I didn't even get to vote because I was in the bush. And my boss man did everything to make sure I couldn't come out in time for elections day. I couldn't even get somebody to vote me by proxy. This year, I take in charge. I am voting because it is my right, and I want to have my say for Guyana's future. March 2nd, I am ready.
I'm David Granger, and I approve this message.
That was a paid political ad.
Across the region right now, fears are growing over the security situation in Haiti after the police and soldiers fought a deadly gun battle which lasted for hours outside the country's presidential palace. The exchange of gunfire on Sunday shattered the opening of Haiti's annual carnival as the police and soldiers exchanged volleys of gunfire, sending bystanders diving for cover. One soldier died of his wounds on Monday, and at least 3 police officers were wounded. Shooting continued into the night, and in the immediate aftermath, authorities in the Caribbean country stated. Communities in Antigua and Barbuda could benefit from millions of dollars in grant funding and loans through the government of India. India's High Commissioner to the country, Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, said his country is awaiting proposals from the government of Antigua on how to utilize a $1 million grant geared towards community development projects, which he hopes to receive earliest. Dr. Srinivasa said the Prime Minister of India first announced the grant last September at the first ever India CARICOM Summit, which was held on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. During his visit to the island last week, the Indian diplomat, who is based in Guyana, made courtesy calls to several government ministers. And finally tonight, top health officials in the US have warned Americans to brace for the inevitable spread of the coronavirus, which is sweeping the world. There are 53 confirmed cases in the US, and officials are calling on Congress to urgently pass billions of dollars on the response effort. US President Donald Trump has said the situation is well under control. More than 2,700 people have died and some 80,000 have taken ill, mostly in China, where the virus originated. Outside China, Iran, South Korea, and Italy have reported the largest number of cases, causing concern that the virus could be becoming a pandemic. Earlier today, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention experts warned Americans of the coming outbreak. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.